Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Finding Solace, Belinda Believes, Night Shadow, Nancy Durr, and Mary. Hi Nova and everyone. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. I was in the mountains seeing the wild horses of Alberta, my favorite. Oh wow, nice. Very nice. Jules and Wanad and Ginger. Hi, Ginger. Ginger is the mod. And thank you for being here, Ginger. And thank you for what you do. And Sailor Moon. Mew Brunswick. Haven't seen you in a while. Hi. Diesel. Diesel Weasel. Howdy. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. It is absolutely gorgeous here. We're having such a beautiful fall. Fall is my favorite time of the year. I know for many it isn't, but it is for me. I love it. Love it, love it. I'm not really a summer gal myself. Yeah. So we're going to do a couple of things today. Donna, hi, Donna. Welcome back. We're going to touch on some of these cases that I am going to get into more in depth, but today we'll just touch on them a little bit, give you a little more info. I had a comment in the comments section requesting a little bit more information on them because I play them at the end of the show. Well, I play the song and all these missing persons or unsolved cases come up, and these are all from the area. One, 2, 3. Well, and of course, Lily and Jack are from Pictou County. So if anyone doesn't know, I am from Pictou County, Nova Scotia, which is where Lily and Jack Sullivan went missing from. And we've been touching on that case quite a bit, and we're going to give a little somewhat of an update here today as well. Ariel, hi. And oh, you guys, Me too, I love this time of year. Okay, so it's not just me, and Randy does too. Mary, Randy, yep. Hi, Kent. Yeah, and Ariel, hi. Yeah, Root Strength, hi. Beautiful here too. Oh, I did mean to click on Roots. Hi. Beautiful here too, Quebec. Buzzing chainsaws, people trying to get things done. Yeah, before the winter hits. Love fall. Me too. Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. Uh, the weather is beautiful here today in Edmonton too. Yeah, it seems all over Canada. Seems all over Canada. The pond, hi. Thanks for being here. It seems all over Canada that we're having some nice weather. That's good. Um, yeah, so for Lilly&Jack, so yeah, I've been touching on that one quite a bit lately because it's fresh, ongoing, in the midst of being investigated. The cadaver dogs were out and doing what cadaver dogs do, and but there are other cases here in Pictou County as well. So we have Kevin Wesley Martin, Adair Townson, and Lynn Adele Oliver, who all are from Pictou County. Um, Alan Kenley Matheson, who goes by Kenley, he is from Cape Breton, um, and which is another area of Nova Scotia, and went missing from the valley, Annapolis Valley, which is another area of Nova Scotia. And he went missing from there while attending university. So I'm just going to give you a little more info on each of those cases. And then the first one out of those that we're going to do a deeper dive on will be Kevin Wesley Martin, who not only did he go missing, but he was missing in 1994, but then was found in 2000, deceased and in a shallow grave. So he, and it was confirmed that he was red rum, and went through quite a horrific ordeal. So we're going to touch on that one first, I'm hoping. Now, I did reach out to his mother, who's, wanting answers. I read quite a bit of her Facebook posts, and so on. And I mean, she's begging for justice, from what I can see. And that case is cold for the last 29 years. So, and there's nothing out there on his case. I mean, nothing. Like, I couldn't find any information except the very, very basics. And so I had reached out to her. I mean, there's nothing anywhere. Nobody has ever touched on this case. And that's just sad. That's so sad. I mean, any other case you can look up, even Kenley, you're going to find information. Adele, Lily, well, Lynn, sorry, Oliver. There might not be a whole lot on Lynn as well, but there's more information that her son has spoke of. Um, but yeah, with Kevin, it's just nothing. It's very strange. But the first thing we're going to do is touch on some text that Daniel had shared regarding the cadaver dog handler and himself. And I'll just leave it with you guys to ponder on it. And then we'll go from there. I see some of you are asking some questions there. Hi, Bobby Joe, Rosie. I hope I didn't miss anyone. If I did, I'm sorry. Are the dogs still out east? When they said that they were going, gonna start their searching with the cadaver dogs, they said they'd be here for a few weeks. And they made it very clear that they wouldn't be telling us where they are. So, of course, when they're on Janie and Daniel's property and they're on those areas close to them where the blanket was found and the footprints, of course, they would probably know that they're there. But outside of that, uh, who knows, right? That I wouldn't say that they're not because I'm going to go by what they said that they're going to be here for a few weeks. So where they are, who knows? Hi, Cheryl. Um, according to reporters, Diesel. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'd be under that assumption as well, considering they had said a few weeks. Any case, Unlocked has said, yeah, they're all sad. Yeah, for sure. And the original time frame from the presser said probably a couple of weeks. Actually, he said a few weeks because I wrote it down. Yeah. I followed Kenley's case for a while. I don't understand why they have never found Lynn's remains. Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I can tell you, what I've heard on that. And being local, things that, you hear, and actually I can confirm what I've been told is 100% is true of what their thinkings are on that. I remember the original time frame, but it didn't sound definite. Yeah, yeah. Just loved your kind voice. Oh, thank you, Rosie. It wouldn't be surprising if they are going to utilize the dogs for other cases while they are here. Yeah, I don't know what other cases there would be, but there could be some. Who knows? So where I'm in Adair's. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Adair. Yes, yes, definitely. That is bizarre. Yes, yeah. I totally agree. The coming weeks is what I remember the wording. Okay. Yeah. Uh, Dylan. Yeah, well, but he's suspected to have gone out into the ocean, I believe. So I don't know. Because I believe that they their belief was that he went from the river into the ocean, or I think the waterway they suspected he went into was a river, I thought, and then into the ocean. I could be wrong though. So cedar and pine musk death odor could be buried in plastic container with cedar in it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they mask it. Cayenne throws dogs off if not scent targeted. Okay. Dylan's case is also Carroll police. So they would have had to ask RCMP before they get into it. I know it's municipal police, his case. I know some people think it was RCMP, but it actually wasn't. Yeah. Yeah, I do too. Root strength. Yeah. Yeah. Truro. Yeah. Truro police. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay, so let's pull up the text. Do, do, do. Okay. You guys should be able to see that all right. It's coming up pretty big there. So I tried to put them in once I took these pictures, then I was like, "Okay, well, oh my god, what order is that in?" And I didn't really have time to go back and go through the video. So this is from Hidden in the Fog, guys. If you're interested in listening to her audio along with these messages, go right ahead. There was one part of it I'm not even gonna display on here, so I know some of you guys probably already did see it, but I'm not even putting it on here because it's just no, unless something like that's 100% confirmed to ever have happened. I'm not repeating it. Um, and yeah, so um, so all right. So this is from Daniel to her name is Susan from Hidden in the Fog, and it is somebody that he has been communicating with somewhat. Um, her and uh, the Drunk Turkey show, or I guess it's called the DT show now. Um, and so if you know Daniel, um, you know, take it as you will. Um, n- I can't tell you that this is all 100% truth, is what I'm saying. So, yeah. So, um, so Daniel says the dog handlers came inside, and he's talking to Sue, and asked me what this thing was. I replied, "That's a wood stove. You never seen one before?" I can't imagine that they've never seen a wood stove before. And then the blue, there's just Sue asking some questions, which is kind of irrelevant because he doesn't really answer them. um, and then, well, he does answer one. She goes, "What?" And he says, "Yeah, Susan." And then one of the handlers tried to get a false confession out of me by trying to get, and again, this is Daniel Martell, who is was the partner of the mother of the children who have gone missing, Lilly&Jack Sullivan. One of the handlers tried to get a false confession out of me by trying to get me to admit to the red rum of the kids. Investigators were privately talking with Mom. So the investigators were there as well, according to Daniel, besides the dog handlers. Talking with Mom. So it was only me and the dog handlers when they tried to pull that stunt on me. Okay. Just give me 1 second and I will bring up the next one. And I know some of you guys know the part that I told you I'm not even putting in here. I know some of yous know what that is, and you're welcome to discuss it in the chat because I know between yous you probably know what it is, and I don't want to tell anybody, you can't even discuss it. Like that's up to you guys. But I'm not putting it on here. Um and if you're discussing it in the chat, I just won't put it up on screen, okay? Because I know some people will know, some people won't, but I'm not, yeah. Okay, again, this is Daniel stating to Sue. They asked me to if I burnt anything since May 2nd in the stove because they seen ashes. We know he did have the stove going, and I don't know. I mean, I could take my time to go look and figure out when that picture was taken, as per the news article or whatever. Might be able to find out because there is a picture with the stove going. You can see the smoke coming out of the pipe. I noticed it. I noticed Kent noticed it, and other people noticed it. I think Justin even mentioned it, but but because we were stating, how cold it still was around that time when the kids went missing. They asked me too if I burnt anything since May 2nd in the stove because they seen ashes. I said, well, it was summer for the last few months. Why heat the wood in the summer? Why heat with wood in the summer? And then there was a fire ban. So I'm just going to comment on that because he didn't really answer the question, which I don't know why. That's kind of a Daniel thing. So you guys can come up with your own conclusions. And the fire ban. Well, I mean, you wouldn't. I highly doubt that they were talking about the summer months. May 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, it was still chilly all the way through there. We used our heat here quite a bit through May. Well, we didn't use it on the 3rd. It was beautiful out that day, and that was my grandson's first birthday. So I have it on video. I have it, we were outside and whatever, but it's a gorgeous day. But there still were a lot of chilly days throughout May where we did have to put the heat on and keep the dampness out of the house. But so, I certainly don't think they meant the summer months. And obviously, the fire ban has nothing to do with that question. And even if they were referring to the summer months, you're still allowed to use, if you had to, a wood stove inside your home. Uh, the fire ban didn't restrict enclosed stoves with a pipe that is certified. So just an FYI on that. But as I said, nobody's going to be using that through the summer anyway. So that's not really the proper answer to that question. But same handler said all these weird things. He also said human remains, dogs can smell remains in ashes, which they can. I said, why are the dogs not inside here then, instead of asking what a wood stove is? Well, we know that they probably did look in there, right? Because Janie and Daniel were off the property this time when the dogs were around. So whatever the handlers did, Janie and Daniel wouldn't know. So they would have been in the house, because then Daniel does state they did bring the dogs in the house. They did all the property too. But again, that's a Daniel thing. Daniel gives the two sides, right? That's why I said the yeah, no, yeah, no. So he says, well, why not bring them in? And one would assume that they didn't. And then you read the next sentence and, well, they did, right? So that's a Daniel thing, if you don't know that already. So we'll bring up number 3. Do, 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 do. Okay, so he put his, I just noticed that said this now because it's so big, and I probably read this without my glasses earlier and just took it as his. He put his hand on my shoulder and said, Daniel, 2 children just don't go missing. Now, that's interesting because that statement would kind of tell me that there is disbelief within the RCMP. Now, whether it's just this particular handler or RCMP themselves, or there's been discussions, I don't know. But he certainly doesn't think that the kids are out in the woods by saying that. I replied, yes, sir, I'm well aware of that. He then said something happened Thursday night. Now, I know a lot of people have been saying that. I don't know. There would have to be evidence and facts for me to believe that, to think that, right? But everybody's welcome to what their thoughts are. I said, "No, it didn't. What are you referring to?" He then said, "We think you did something Thursday night." And he's saying he said, "We think." He then said, "We think you." So he's saying you did something Thursday night. That's when I said, "Do you even know anything on the case?" Uh, which my understanding is when they're coming here, they actually, uh, which would only make sense. They're not the investigators on the case, so they wouldn't be on the up and up like the investigators are. But keep in mind, the investigators are there when this is taking place. They've got Janie aside and they're chit-chatting with her while the dog handlers are doing this. So, yeah. So, interesting. All right, I'll bring up the next one. I think the next one is the last one, maybe. Yeah, it is, because I'm not going to show that other one. Actually, there's two more, this one and the next one. He replied, no, not really. I seen you. So the last thing on the other one was Daniel said, "Do you know anything on this case?" And he said, "No, not really. Uh, really. But I seen you on the news once in BC." Because remember, these dog handlers came from out west. Uh, the conversation went a little something like that. May not be word for word. That's cute. It was heartbreaking and sickening, Susan, to hear that. And again, he's talking to Susan from Hidden in the Fog. I told investigators after this, and they told me, "Daniel, I'm sorry about that. We know what we know, and I'm sorry that happened to you. I don't remember the guy's name, but his dog's name is Narc." And I do remember when we went over the video that Charmaine took. Um, I can't remember his name either. But he was in that video. I'm pretty sure he was the one that was here with Narc. Doctor and Constable. I feel like it started with a W, but my memory, I'm sorry, I can't remember. Okay, now there is one more. The blanket site was searched multiple times. The pipeline where the the footprint was found multiple times. The dogs also did the property here multiple times over multiple days. So they sounds like they searched pretty good. Now, I just want to check and make sure I didn't miss one, guys. No, that's it. Okay, so now my thoughts are, like I said, there was another one there that suggested something that really is really horrific. You guys can go over to that show to hear what that was. Or you can discuss it in the chat there. I won't bring it up. But, you know, remains can be on things as well, which is where my head went, to be honest with you. I was thinking that perhaps, they were thinking of those 2 shirts, um, kids' clothing, things like that, right? That the smell could be transferred to, not so much, you know, the other alternative. That's it, whaling. Yep. Oh, he had Kit. Okay. Trit, you get your you and that voice to text. Yeah, he had Kit. Okay. Well, it was the guy that wasn't there yet when the press conference was done. Yeah. Um, yeah, so that's where my thought went, was possibly something that it could be transferred onto, is what they're thinking. I'm not saying that that's what took place. Um, we don't know. Only RCMP hopefully knows something. And if they don't, they eventually will. And I mean, just because they did all that to Daniel doesn't mean he's guilty of anything. It's RCMP doing their job, trying to figure out what has happened here, and catching somebody off guard and saying stuff like that isn't uncommon, right? Or maybe they were onto something and they truly were trying to see what his reaction would be. Either way, either way. But it certainly doesn't seem it certainly doesn't mean that he's in the clear, him or Janie, which has been put out there. And, I made my thoughts on that very clear that, I obviously didn't believe that to be true. I don't think anybody that's cleared, this would be taking place for sure. So, uh, yeah, so I see you got hello to anybody new that come in. And sorry that I've missed you. Uh, you guys are having great conversations. Yeah, and like I said, Lori, at the beginning, as those of us who have followed this case, we know, right, that some of it, you know, just we'll take it with a grain of salt, okay? And you make up your own mind on what you think of it. Yeah. But, yeah. So let's move on to some of these other cases here. First, I'm going to touch on Kevin. And if we run out of time, it'll just be Kevin that we touch on. There's really not a lot of information on him, folks, sadly. But there's a few things I can show you. And I'm hoping, like I said, that there will be more information that will come along. This case is 29 years old and nothing has ever taken place. No real fight for this justice for this young man, to be honest with you. No documentaries, no, nothing. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. And, yeah. So, guys, first I am going to have to reload my page here because I'm being told to. And if I don't, that's when the computer does some weird thing. So I'll take myself off screen, do a reload, and I'll be right back. There. That worked, and I didn't lose my avatar this time. I hope you're all still there. You're all still with me. Okay, so let's bring Kevin up. Actually, what I'll do is bring up this article. It's the last article that was done in the news on him. It's a nice article. Just let me find it here again. And this is the young man that I had said I did reach out to his mother, and I will wait to see if I hear back. I really hope I do, because I believe it's time for uh, more information to come out on this case. 29 years old. And I don't mean him, I mean the case. And it's cold, obviously. So just give me 1 second, folks, and I'll bring this up. Okay, Pictou County cold case. There it is. And this whole story, as far as what the family has gone through, uh, is just sad, outside of even Kevin, because there was another loss in the family as well. So the tragedy that this family had to go through within a small span of time, just sad, so sad, heartbreaking. Okay, so I'm going to be over at the other screen reading this, guys. I'm going to take a drink of I'm going to put this on pause, take a drink of my water, and then go over to the other screen and read this. So I won't be looking at the chat, but I see you guys are chatting great there. And I know Kent knows a lot about this. Ginger's been following this case. Hi, Barbara. Thanks for being here. Anybody else new that came in that I missed? Yeah, there's a lot of you guys here that have been following this from the beginning, and you're able to help each other out and carry on good conversations. So go for it. And speaking of the Lilly&Jack case is what I mean, but I know there'll be comments on this one too. Now, if you have comments on this case or questions, save it to me getting close to the end of reading this so that I can see them, because if you ask them while I'm reading it, I'll never be able to go back in the chat and find them. So hi, Roxanne. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so it's better to save them nearing the end of the article, okay? So I'm gonna take a drink here, and I'll be right back. Okay. All right, I'm going over to the other screen now, guys. And I wish I could make that bigger, but for some reason, when you're in this news in here, it won't allow you to make it bigger. Okay, so Pictou County cold case, 29 years later, still no answers on the red rum of 13-year-old Kevin Martin. And that's his family there. So you have his mom, sister, and that would be his niece, nephew, niece, nephew, and another niece. Yeah. By the way, that bench they're sitting on is just down the road from where I live. It's on Stellarton Road. Is that Stellarton? Yeah, Stellarton Road. Just down the road from where I live. and it is in memory of Kevin. Okay. So Stellarton, May 19th marked 29 years, and this is when was this is 20 this was 2023. May 19th marked 29 years since the disappearance of 13-year-old Kevin Martin of Stellarton, and his family was finally able to make it from their home, now in Prince Edward Island, to visit the bench installed in his honor. And I remember when this happened. Like, I distinctly remember when this happened. And at first, it was said that he ran away. So Kevin's mother, Bonnie Thomas, and her family have not been able to visit Kevin's bench or gravesite on the anniversary of his disappearance for the past few years because of COVID lockdown and travel restrictions. Although disappointed in the weathered state of the bench, which she and the community raised $1,000 to have placed, Thomas said it's nice to finally be back, as far as at least being able to visit. Now, I wouldn't think the restrictions would have caused that, because if you drive over across the bridge and go to that bench outside, I wouldn't think that you wouldn't be able to not visit the bench, go see the bench. And there he is. And what a sweet boy. Yeah. Actually, I can't bring the picture up. I'll take it up after I'm done reading this. Thomas described her son as a soft-hearted person. She explained, Kevin ran away from home on May 19th, 1994, to hang out with friends. I hate when they use the word ran away, though. Like, I remember leaving the house when I wasn't supposed to go hang out with friends. I came back, but I didn't know they called that running away. But he was the kind of person who just wanted to fit in, which is part of the reason he got into trouble, she said. Thomas further noted Kevin had been bullied at school and craved acceptance. He wanted to be one of the cool kids. So when they, his friends, skipped school, he would too, his mother noted. Well, times have changed, because back in the day, we used to say, well, our kids are just following somebody who's, the bad crowd or whatever, but he's not bad, he's just the follower. But now we make kids take accountability more so. And yeah, so things are a little different today than back in the day when you could get away with saying that. But um yeah, so Kevin had lost his older brother, Olin. Now, this is so sad, in a house fire a few years before. Thomas believes Kevin, who shared a room with Olin, never truly got over losing his brother. No, absolutely not. He wouldn't. Now, look at them. They're 10 months apart, and don't they look like twins? My God, they're cute. My boys are 11 months apart, and they grew up looking like twins as well. Yeah, they're some cute. Um, so Kevin Martin left, and his older brother Olin on the right. The two were only 10 months apart in age. Olin tragically died in an accidental house fire, and Kevin was later red-rummed. So sad. What tragedy that family has gone through. That's horrific. He was a follower. So this is the mom speaking. He was a follower, so whatever they did, he would do it, or they would tell him, you can't hang out with us, she said. On November 13th, 2000, Commercial loggers working in the Burnside area of rural Colchester County discovered his remains in a shallow grave. Evidence found at the scene indicated Kevin's death was a homicide, but police have never been able to determine who committed the crime. Um, so, um, so where he was found is more towards where the city is. So, Halifax, Dartmouth area. So there's the Burnside area, which is near there. So that at the time, we did not have the twinned highway. It takes probably about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit less to get there now. Um, and I could check on my phone, I suppose. Um, and back then the highway wasn't twin, so it would take a little bit longer, maybe closer to 2 hours. Let me check on Google Maps to see exactly what the time is in that. Burnside, Dartmouth. Still here, guys. Just I clicked the wrong button by mistake. Okay, why is directions not coming up for me? Okay, so it's a oh my god, it's on walk. I was like, what is going on here? Oh, so it's actually an hour and 55 minutes, and that's on the twinned highway. So back then it would be probably would be probably a bit more than 2 hours, I would say. Um, yeah, so that's the distance of where he was found from here to there. Um, The Northeast Novah Major Crime Unit still leads the investigation into Kevin's death. Police encourage anyone with information to contact the Northeast Novah Major Crime Unit at 902 893 6820. Okay. So very sad case. Now I do have some information I found, posts that his mom posts about his missing case and her thoughts on some certain things. But we'll leave it there for now until we get into the deeper dive, okay? And we will move on to, let's do Adair next. Because as Root Strength said, so bizarre that she was never found. And that is 100%. I'd be interested in knowing what your thoughts are on this one, Kent, if you want to come on with me, because this is a stumper. Adair. That I don't know. Root Strength, yes. Yes, somebody just said for other cases too, and I never even clued into her. Yes. Duh. Yeah, 'cause she's still out there. And that is so sad. I mean, if she's still out there, because I'm stumped on that. I'm totally stumped on that. I don't understand that. I mean, I have one thought. Uh, yeah. So Okay, so let's bring Adair up. So sad. I think you'll be able to see that one better than the other one. Okay, so Adair, search for missing Nova Scotia woman, 73, continues. Adair Townson last seen walking from her home on Brookside Avenue at 12 p.m. Monday. So this is April 9th, 2024. So it was last year that she went missing. I I thought it was May she went missing. I wonder. I guess we'll see if there's more details than this. Adair Townson is described as 5'2" tall, with gray medium length hair. She was wearing a gray blue coat, black Doc Martin boots, and glasses. Okay, and there she is there. Yeah. Search teams are continuing to scour the New Glasgow, Nova Scotia area for a 73-year-old woman who went missing, who went for a walk at midday on Monday and did not return. Adair Townson was seen walking from her home on Brookside Avenue in New Glasgow at 12 p.m. on Monday, according to an emergency alert. Okay, so Adair Townson was seen walking from her home. Okay, so my understanding is that she would walk to the park. So the area of New Glasgow and Trenton, the north end of New Glasgow is very close to Trenton. They border each other. So where she walks from and then to the park, it's a little bit of a distance, but it's a nice walk. I used to walk that every day back in the day, that exact walk. And then she would return home. So we've received numerous tips. Constable Ken McDonald of the New Glasgow Regional Police told CBC News in an interview on Wednesday. Townsend has, now this always bothered me. This bothers me big time. Townsend has a mild case of Alzheimer's. Now, there's no such thing as a mild case of Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a progressive disease, okay? There's no such thing as a mild case of it. Now, you could say a person has a mild case of dementia, which, perhaps she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and was in the earlier stages of it where the dementia wasn't at a severe stage yet, if that makes sense. But there's no such thing as mild Alzheimer's. But anyways, bad wording there on their part. And takes regular walks, and I'm saying that as a fact because I am a nurse who worked in geriatrics my whole career. Part of my career was in geriatrics and always continued in dealing with geriatric clients. So regular walks. So she always took regular walks on her own, the police force said in a news release. Witnesses spotted her near the Mount William Road area off Highway 106 on Monday between 3:30 and 6 p.m. And she was also seen near Trenton Park at 8:30 p.m. So there was a witness who was at the park that saw her, the release said. Now, the area that she was in, yes, that was when the witnesses spotted her off the Mount William Road area off Highway 106. Yeah. Investigators said about 70 people are involved in the search on Wednesday, including ground search and rescue teams and a helicopter from the Department of Natural Resources. And this picture breaks my heart because that is her on the camera at our local, I call it the dump, but I know there's another name for it, but I'm used to calling it the dump. The camera that caught her at the dump. And to me, she looks scared. The way she's got her hand up to her face like that. She looks scared and perhaps even crying. It's just heartbreaking. Sad. And I mean, when they put that out that they caught her on that camera and that was at, our local waste station or dump, whatever you want to call it. This is where the garbage goes from when they pick it up, it goes to there. I think everybody thought, oh, well, they're going to find her, right? She's there. She's just wandering around lost. But they didn't. It's just so bizarre. New Glasgow Regional Police have released security camera footage of Adair Townson to help the public understand what she looks like and what she was wearing. We called numerous search and rescue teams from throughout the province. We also included our resources, fire departments that have boat capabilities. I think that's supposed to say both capabilities for searching. Or maybe it is supposed to be boat. Oh, yeah, I suppose because there is water in behind there. Yeah, fire department that have boat capabilities for searching, McDonald said. A command center has been set up at Trenton Park. It's one of the areas where Townsend was reportedly spotted. That's 7 kilometers from where she was last seen the day she went missing. Now, I will say, when you come out of Trenton Park, you take a right and you start going forward to go towards the north end, to get back to the north end where she came from. She would have to take a left turn somewhere to go back up that way. However, it seems that she continued on straight and she walked a straight line distance, which we've talked about before, which I've taken in my training, that with children and elderly, when they elderly who have dementia and children, their way of thinking, they will walk a straight line distance. That's not uncommon. And in fact, even after I spoke of it in one of my videos, Amy talked about it as well, the ground search and rescue supervisor. So, it seems like perhaps that may have been what happened with her dementia, that she perhaps got confused and did that straight line distance thing, right? Because when you keep walking and walking and walking, that's 7, what did they say? 7 kilometers or whatever it was. That is a 7. Yeah, that's 7 kilometers. That's straight line. That's straight line way up the road. Yeah, she would have passed one intersection, went across a causeway, a very small causeway, or connector, I guess we call it. Then she would have went past another very fast, busy intersection and continued walking way up in a very busy area, fast traffic. Yeah, and way up that way. On Thursday, police said in the news release that Townsend was last seen at 5:30 a.m. Tuesday around Mount William near the Trenton Connector and exit 1A of Highway 106. Just don't understand why they didn't find her. The search was focused in that area, with ground searchers and police dog teams scouring by land and the helicopter by air. Police are asking for residents in the areas she was last spotted to check their backyards and sheds, as well as their security camera footage. McDonald said emergency alerts and media coverage are key to the search because information provided by members of the public in the area is crucial to locating her. Wow, that's a big picture. You can actually see the man's face in the picture there. So heartbreaking. I was just looking back at the chat here and I see you saying Pickering. If Sarah, however you pronounce that, Serra, sees this video, I told her the other night that a similar case of 2 kids going missing and just because she had asked, has there ever been a case like this in Canada with similar to Jack and Lily? Now, besides the age difference, it's similar in the sense that they just never found any trace of them. And I said the Pickering boys, but it was actually the, oh my God, am I going to remember again? It's not the Pickering boys. It's there's oh God, now I can't remember the name of it again, but when it comes to me, I'll say it. Of course. Oh, Kent. Jesus, sorry. I got right into this and forgot.
I didn't know if you were still over at the other computer or what was going on.
I'm almost finished reading this, so I'll just finish it up, and then I'm interested in your thoughts. I mean, I always had one thought, but it's still, I don't know. Townsend's family is concerned and want to know if she is safe. The police force said in a Facebook post. What a friggin' sin. So sad. Townsend is described as 5'2" tall with gray medium length hair. She was wearing a gray-blue coat, black Doc Martens, boots, and glasses. The search is expected to continue until nightfall, with a limited number of personnel continuing overnight. Now, guys, one thing I do want to say, just education-wise, there is if you're dealing with a family member who is in the stages, starting with dementia, has a different type of dementia that's not Alzheimer's related or for whatever reason, there are bracelets out there now that they can wear, so that if they wander off, ground search and rescue can track them down, and they actually you can have it set up that the alert goes through to ground search and rescue. Yeah, so there's things out there now. So if you have a loved one, look into something like that, because of course she most likely still wanted to have her independence. Totally understandable, right? She wasn't at a point yet. They thought, and you don't know when you're going to reach that point, because with dementia, especially if it's Alzheimer's related, that's a day-to-day thing. And so you don't know how it's going to progress and whatnot. So it's really worth the while to look into one of those bracelets and allow someone to still have their freedom, but yet do what you can to keep them safe, right? So just putting that out there. So what are your thoughts on this, Kent? Now, Kent is also local. He lives close to, I guess, the causeway's not too far from, I want to call it the dump. What is it called? The landfill? The what?
Well, it's actually only a transfer station now.
Yeah, okay.
Our landfill dump is full. So,
oh, wow.
But all of our garbage goes there, gets sorted, and then they actually anything that like is not compostable and recyclable, um, the regular garbage that would go into a normal landfill goes back on truck and gets trucked to Guysborough.
Okay.
That's why when everybody was saying about check the garbage for Jack and Lily, uh, it doesn't fit in this case
No,
because
definitely not.
like nothing just goes to the dump
Yeah.
um, without being scanned and like by truck, and
Yeah.
then they get sorted by wind tunnels and people
Yeah.
before it gets bundled back up in the garbage bundles, loaded on a truck, and then hauled to guys from.
Yeah. That's right, root strength. They're very difficult to get off. And the thing is that somebody who is at that stage in their Alzheimer's, you know, further along, they try to get the bracelets off. But someone like her, who still, she was at the beginning stages there where she was still able to go for the walk. And she probably wouldn't have tried to get the bracelet off. It really probably would have, assisted her. But yeah, they're very hard to get off. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. And I guess they can even put them on your ankle now and to keep it out of sight, out of mind type thing. Um,
I've always wondered if she wasn't picked up,
I know. Like, it's hard not to kinda go there, you know?
right? Like, because originally when it was going on, I thought she was going in the other direction. And
Okay.
I thought that she was seen around the landfill and then ended up at Trenton Park. But then they clarified that and they said no, because I thought that, okay, if she was going towards Trenton Park, who's to say that she never got into one of the water areas,
Oh,
like fell off the
exactly.
bridge or whatever?
Yeah, and they even did check that just to be sure that she didn't walk back to the park without them knowing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's like you say, like the fire departments, because not all fire departments have water in their coverage areas, so therefore they don't have boats. There might be
Mhm.
something else is more important to them, that like
Yeah.
a drone or whatever compared to a water boat. Now I know my local department, they have a boat, and Abercrombie has a boat. Well, Pictou and Caribou both share the assets of a boat, and they have a boat responding team.
Yeah.
But I always wondered if she didn't get picked up, like someone thinking that she needed help and taken out of the area. And the only reason why I say that is because shortly after, and I don't know when the last time you were out in the area, but shortly after she went missing in this area, on the mountain or Mount William Road area of it, not the highway, but that area of the Mount William Road has been developing steadily.
Yeah.
Like
Just one
there's
second. Hi,
another.
Belinda. Thanks for being here, darling. Lots of love, lots of positive vibes. I did touch on that little update with the whole uh, cadaver dog and Daniel situation at the beginning. Um, if you want to watch later just to hear my thoughts on it, lots of love to you. Yes, go ahead, Kent.
So like there's an additional uh probably at least 7 or 8 households that have been built there on, if you're coming into the town under Glasgow on the Mount William Road, once you cross the Trans Canada Highway,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now I know that means that she would have had to turn, but we don't have anything to say that she didn't turn,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Hi, Holly
right?
Ramsey.
She
Yeah,
might just she might just like, because the another thing for people that are suffering this and or memory loss is they don't have a real good sense of travel, like
absolutely.
how far they've traveled.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were talking that she come out of Trenton Park, well, she should have went maybe a half a kilometer
Exactly.
and then went left.
Yep.
but
And she
she
just
went
kept going.
7 kilometers
God
and
love
then
her.
went left.
Yeah.
Like
Yes, yes, you could be
the Mount
right.
William Road enters there across from the dump, and she would have gone on that road. And so I'm thinking that if she would have been in the woods along the Mount William Road,
Hi, Cindy.
once that got developed, like I say, on the outer end of it, it's not developed. Maybe she's in the woods there. Um,
Yeah.
Other than that,
Now,
I just don't know how she got out of the area other than being picked up.
so it's funny you would say that because my mother-in-law had the same thought. And apparently, uh, she used to live somewhere else or she has family somewhere else or something like that. And so she thought the same thing. And she said, I wonder if somebody picked her up and she asked them, can you take me here? You know, in her confusion. And you don't know, right?
Yeah.
You
And then
just
how
have
far
to
was that
kind of
away
think of,
from the search area, right?
right. But I mean, you would think that they would have reported that but unless they were up to something nefarious. But the thing is, it's just so sad that they caught her on. So she went missing. We were all told the alert was put out. Then they caught her on camera. I think it was that night or the next day. So we all thought, oh my gosh, they're going to find her. There she is. She's right there on camera. If you can only reach out and grab her, you know? And, but then, no. So they continued searching and, they went out and went to that area because there she is on camera. And no, they never found her. Now, the only thing I thought of that came to my mind is that she got right into the dump area. And if she expired or got lost in there or in the woods and around there and they couldn't find her and there's any kind of smell, it's just going to kind of blend in, wouldn't you think? Like it's not
Well,
going to be a
yeah,
noticeable smell.
especially in the summertime, because when you drive by there, it's nothing but rotten milk, right?
You can smell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I,
But I
it's,
was wondering what direction that picture was,
it
because
looks like, well, let
that's
me bring it
probably a
back up.
picture on the gate.
Yeah, it looks like she's walking in because see how the sign is facing out that way? Like do you see oh, you can't see it, can you?
Yeah, no, I figured out how to get back without losing it now.
Oh, okay.
Finally.
Good. It's all a learning curve because that sign is facing out as though you're driving into the dump, wouldn't you say? And it's kind of got that little bit of
What's
going
that?
down.
What's that sign say?
Well, I'm assuming that's the sign for the.
Like that just looks like a speed limit sign, or
No, that's not a speed limit sign. Oh, for the dump, you
that
mean, as you're coming into
that
the dump?
yeah.
Yeah,
That
well,
looks
even
like
if.
to be a awful high angle to be the one at the gate of the dump,
Do you want me to bring it up on Google? Take a look.
right? Because their gate is only like 5 feet high, right?
Yeah. I I have to refresh my memory. Um so what would I look up to bring that up? Dumping station?
Mount William landfill facility.
Okay.
And that's the thing that we're probably lacking behind than all these other places with cameras.
Mhm.
We are just starting, even on our 104 Trans Canada Highway, we are just starting to get cameras. And it's more so that people can see the road conditions in the wintertime rather than anything else.
Yeah.
And like they're usually 20 or 30 kilometers apart, like along the highway.
Mhm.
It's not like they got a highway camera every intersection or.
Oh, I went the wrong way.
But yeah, no, I just found it weird that she was in that area and could never be found.
I know. Was so
And yes,
sure
I
they were
know
gonna
where.
find her.
And like a lot of the other thing is that um, since she went missing, a lot of that area has been logged.
Yeah,
Right
they never
after
found
Fiona,
anything.
that was an area, whether it was because it's crown land or the private landowners,
Yeah.
but a lot of that Mount William Road right out to the dump from the Trans Canada Highway overpasses
Mhm.
has been logged just in
Trying
the
to
last
get the
couple of years, and
street
still
view
nothing
here.
found.
Oh, there we go. That's what I want. The street view. Okay. I think I see. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. So, let me bring this up. Hmm. Is that sign on the left? But in the picture, there must be another sign in there. Can you see
Well,
that?
no, that would be right because she's facing, like you were saying, coming out.
Oh, she's
So
coming
that
out then. Okay.
she might have turned right and get in as far as the gate, and then said, "Oh, I'm going in the wrong direction." And that's why
Yeah.
I say right across the road from that is the Mount William Road,
Yeah, because that's
right?
got to be the sign, right? Right there.
Yeah. So she
Yeah.
might have got turned back around because that is gated. Like she wouldn't get in there. Like if she got in there in the daytime while somebody was in the gatehouse
Yeah.
and they seen that she was that confused, they would have called an ambulance.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, it's
And
just too
then it's
bad that it
gated,
was later in the day when it was closed.
right?
Oh, what a shame.
So then if you turn the circle there, Nova,
Yeah.
and face the other direction, you'll
Yeah.
show them
The
the Mount
shop.
William Road, which is what we're saying. That road right across the street there to the left, that's the Mount William Road, and it'll take you right back into New Glasgow.
Is that Mount
And
William Road? I always thought Mount
yeah,
William Road was down here.
no,
Oh, okay.
this,
Jeez.
this is the
There's
connector. Like,
there's what I know. There's how much I know.
yeah, no, the Mount William
Okay.
Road
So
goes into
yeah,
town.
I see exactly what you're saying. And they did look over there too. I remember that because I remember people saying, "Well, why are they checking over there?" Because they would have thought exactly what you just said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if because not knowing how far she traveled, if you're
Mhm.
saying that she lives in the north end there somewhere,
Right. And she's got to take a
going,
left.
she
Yeah.
should have took the left 5 kilometers ago
Right.
to get back home from Trenton Park. So,
Yeah.
like, for her to get out of that area, and then with the development since, for her not to be found,
I know.
it almost seems as if she got down because if you go, maybe
Bless
if
you.
you can you go a little bit beyond that
Yep.
straight there, don't
Yep.
go
Like
around. Yeah, go
go
that
towards
way.
the 18-wheeler. Tell me when to stop. Keep going.
Yeah, one more and you should have. Okay, right there,
Whoops,
where
look what
that
it did.
18, where that
That's
18 wheeler was.
yeah.
That's the truck coming up, probably going either to Trenton or the dump, but probably going to Trenton with a load of coal.
Yeah.
So if she went beyond the Mount William Road, then took this off ramp, but she used it as an on ramp and got down to the number 6 highway,
Yeah, exactly.
then somebody might have picked her up because
Right.
that highway doesn't divide there. It doesn't divide until you get off the interchange, right?
Mhm.
So that's why I say that she might have got picked up and then taken, like you say, asked her, and if they asked her, and it seems to be more, and I don't want to create a bias or anything, but I know a couple people that I've known that had Alzheimer's and or dementia.
Yeah.
It seems to be their short-term memory that goes first.
Yep. That's right.
So wherever she lived before, if the person picked her up on the highway,
Yeah.
and that might have been out in Thorburn, say.
Well,
Well,
I think she
then
lived
they're
at a
20.
I think she lived a I think it was away from here is what I
Oh,
I
was it?
was
Okay.
told. Like out
Okay.
Toronto or what or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Well,
she
if
had
she would have
family or
asked for
used to
that,
live there or
and
something.
if she got picked up and somebody said, "Yeah, I'm from Toronto," they would have said, "Okay, let's call 911."
Yeah, honest.
But I'm thinking if she was
Hopefully.
another spot within the county,
Yeah,
then
just sad.
she might have got taken there and dropped off, and the person that picked her up thought they were doing a good thing, and they might not have been from the area,
Yeah.
and therefore they didn't get the notifications that a person went missing from where they picked her up.
Yeah, root strength, I thought it was a dirt road too. That's why it is a dirt road. That's why I was thinking she's further in the dump area, which is where
What
you would think their cameras are.
what's a dirt road?
Uh, the road that she was walking on, root
Uh-huh.
strength that I said I thought it was a gravel road, which I thought it was too. And plus the cameras would be further in to the dump area, you would think, like down where that area is where they
No,
weigh.
but the gate is only like 20 feet off the road.
But it is a dirt road. Watch this. And at the beginning of the area, see, that's a dirt road. So she's way down in there.
Yeah, but the dump is paved right into the gatehouse, to the way station, to
Well,
like the waste area.
what area is dirt? The only areas I know that are dirt or well, I
The
guess I
only
thought it
road,
turned dirt like where they send you to go dump other stuff. Like they'll say you have to
yeah.
go to this
Once you
area.
go across the scales,
Yeah.
but the main road, the main road of the landfill is paved right straight in through the scales, through to the like wherever you turn off to go either to household garbage, like if you're
Right.
taking stuff there yourself, you got a household garbage stuff, you got construction waste,
Right.
you got compost waste, and
And
then
then
you have
and those are the
on the
dirt
other side
roads.
you got landfill, right? And no, that's all dirt once you turn off the
Okay.
main
So
road.
that's where she was. She was way in there. What a sin. That
Or
picture breaks my heart because she looks so scared.
the only other dirt road that I know of that way is the one that leads into,
Across the street into geez, what the heck are
well,
their
you got
names?
Vanderpool's
That's
driveway,
it. Yeah.
but and he probably has a camera, but the other one that I was thinking of would be the one that leads into the pavement
There's no sign there that
thing.
unless
But it wouldn't be open, like it's closed off on both sides, right?
yeah, and
It's
they would have
wooded. It's wooded on both sides.
right, and
That
they would have
picture, like
said
you say,
there.
is.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if she didn't walk in Vanderpool's driveway. If that's not the sign right at Vanderpool's driveway, look up Vanderpool storage.
Because it's not that sign, is it? No.
And remember, the dump road isn't level. That's almost level with the ground.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a
Oh, there's a pretty good bank out at the end of that road
yeah,
because they built it up for the overpass going over the Trans Canada, right?
yeah. Okay, so Vanderbolt's like that's it right there, but you want me to look it up to see if there's any picture of a
I
what's it
want to see
called?
if he has a camera. Vanderpool Storage, Vandepols. Albert Vanderpool. You must remember him,
Oh, yeah, I know exactly who they are.
pig farmer.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, that's where we got our pigs every fall.
And it's called storage now? Oh yeah, he's got the
Yeah, he's got a
storage
storage
things
facility
there.
there
Yeah.
now. But I'm just wondering if he has a camera at the end of his driveway that will come up.
Oh, it just shows the storage units. But you darn well know he's got cameras in there. You know what they're like.
Yeah.
That's a definite. There's no doubt in my mind.
That might be the dump camera, but that doesn't seem like the dump driveway if you ask me.
Yeah. Celia. Oh dear, this is tricky. Let her talk, Kent. And I thought he was doing pretty good.
I try.
I can get a little bell set up, and then I'll just go when you hear ding ding.
What do you ever think happened to Kevin?
Ah,
I was only a little one when that was going on, so I have.
I was 22 or 23, and there's a couple of things there. I don't want to go into it too much right now. I want to wait and see if I hear back from his mother, and then we'll move
I know
on.
you were talking there about like friends and wanting to be friends, but do you think it's that situation, or do you think it's a hater?
Because of where he was found, I find it a bit hard to believe that a group of kids, because his mother believes that this group of kids did this. And like, how would a group of kids get another child, deceased body, to the area it was taken, which is not an uncommon spot for deceased people to be found. There's been other people that have been found there as well. So that's one of my big questions that I have on that case.
Well, until it was developed, it was always just a rock pile, right?
Yeah.
Like you take anybody that drives into Burnside, you're driving into a rock pit.
Yeah. So that's the
If it was the friends, I think that one of them had to be old enough to drive.
and I do believe she says, and that's why I have those questions for her, because I do believe she says in one of the messages that I had read, I'll have to go over them again because of my memory, but I thought it said older friends. So I was thinking, okay, well, did one of them drive? Like how would a group of kids get, like, how would they do that? Right? And to
Yeah,
think of that area, to have that mindset to think of that area where,
yeah, to
like,
go that far away.
yeah, which is an area of that city where, red rum taken place in that city and bodies have been put. So where would they get that idea? It just, I don't know. Tinkerbell. In Ontario, they are trying to pass homeowners no cameras on properties unless they don't view sidewalk. Unless they don't view, oh yeah, sidewalks where public walk. People's cameras have helped police many times, and now they want to remove them. They have helped. They have, yeah.
Yeah, why would you want to outlaw them? Like, it just seems that in so many cases that, like, you see Sebastian Rogers, and if it wouldn't have been for the surrounding community cameras,
Yeah.
the last time he would have been seen was going into the house the night before on his own camera.
Yeah, I agree. Root strength. Definitely nobody would have, which is so sad. It's like she was just missed, right? Sad. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
people in the neighborhood do not want these cameras removed. Oh, wow, yeah. I I mean, we have a camera in the front of our house. People walk up and down the street all the time. I don't think anybody really cares.
Do you
Yeah.
remember the case, Nova? Um, the RCMP brung light to it late winter, early spring, or early summer this year about the hit and run on Wellington Street in Pictou. Do you remember
No.
that just from this spring when they did an update to the case and they said that they were looking for a possible baby blue colored Ford Pinto or AMC Gremlin car?
No, I don't think I knew about that. The last thing I heard happening in Pictou that wasn't good was the young girl that the lady that I think she was 18 or 19, and some old fella tried to pull her into his truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was on the RCMP Nova Scotia Facebook thing this
Okay.
spring, and they
Bruce
done a
Strent knows
story
about it.
and it's like 20 or 30 years old. This
Oh,
person was at a party. They come out of the party, they were walking home and got hit by a car and ended up dying. And they were doing some follow up investigation, and they said, this is an odd car, so we're asking if somebody might remember whoever owned.
huh.
Like I say, they were saying it was a Ford Pinto.
Hmm. And was it baby blue, you said?
The one that they said they were looking for was baby blue Ford Pinto. They had a picture of it. They said a car like this, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I say it would either be a Pinto or the AMC Gremlin. It was back in the 80s. Like, I don't remember much because I was only a small kid then.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing stories of it through time. But this spring, it piqued my interest. And I said, somebody's got to know that. Like, that's not a normal car. Like, not just everybody's driving around in a baby blue Ford Pinto or um and
Right.
then one of the comments said, and like, because the story was on Facebook and I was reading as it was happening, because they were asking for possible witnesses to remember to come back or come forward. But then, like, I can't remember where I read it. I went back and I don't know if they took the comment down, but there was somebody on the post that made a comment, said, well, I believe two women were responsible for this and both women are now dead. So
Hmm.
case closed. But the
Wow.
daughter was the daughter that was the one that was looking to try to figure out who her father was. Like, cause he had a baby, or his wife or girlfriend or whatever had a baby, but she was just a baby, and she never ever met her father, and that's what she was
Oh.
trying to do by bringing the story back to light. I found that to be a different one.
Okay, well, I will look that up and share it as well. Any cases related to Pictou County, I'll be touching on. Um, I don't know if you remember Lynn Oliver. I don't even know if you were born then, but you may have heard of it. Um, that case, um, the Billy Smith case, which you wouldn't have been born then, I don't think
26
either.
when I was
And
born.
but you probably heard of it because it's been
I heard
talked
of that
about.
case.
Yeah,
I heard of that case that they found the body
yeah.
like out there in the mines, the one that they're talking about now
Oh,
during that
yes.
road. I heard
Yeah,
of that case growing up.
yeah. Yeah. Now I knew they found him, but I didn't I knew that he was missing. I knew
Yeah.
that they found him, but I always thought it was related to a hunting accident or that he got lost and didn't find his way out. I did not realize that it was nefarious. That was new to
Well,
me.
they suspected it was murder.
Wow.
Anyways, nice afternoon, beautiful weather. So
Yeah, alrighty.
I'll
Well,
talk to you
thanks
later.
for sharing your thoughts on those cases. I think
Yeah.
Kevin's going to be an interesting one to touch on. I'm going to really try to dig and get some more info there on that because that's quite sad that there's nothing out there and it's 29 years cold. So put that information out there now. Like, what are they gonna lose, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Apparently, it didn't lead the investigation where it needs to go. So
Absolutely.
whatever you have is a cold case files.
Yeah.
And I believe his case is on the reward too, isn't it?
Yep, yep, yep. And
Yeah.
I have his picture done up and it's $150,000 reward
Yeah.
because it's now, you know,
Yeah.
he
Cool.
was, it's a homicide, so.
Alrighty. Talk to you later.
Okay. Take care. Bye. Yeah. All the cases are sad. So yeah. Um, so sad. Yeah. I will pull up Adair and Kevin there. Their pictures. Bye, Mary. Take care. So here is Kevin. Yeah. So Kevin Wesley Martin, age 13 years old, reported missing May 19th, 1994, from Stellarton, Nova Scotia. Found deceased November 13th, 2000. Burnside, Colchester County, Nova Scotia, in a shallow grave. $150,000 reward. And for anybody, if you have any information, you call Crime Stoppers. And that phone number is easy to locate. And Adair Townson, age 73 years, reported missing April 8th, 2024, last seen April 9th on CCTV footage along Highway 106, Mount William area, Pictou County, Nova Scotia. And same, if you have any information, call Crime Stoppers or reach out to your local authorities, RCMP. Okay. Um, yeah. So I think that's the two. We'll stay with that for today, guys. Just those two cases. And I will say goodbye for the day. Lots of love to you all. I will play our silhouette song at the end here and go through all those show the cases that I have ready there to touch on. And the next time I come on, we will touch on the other two cases there of Lynn Oliver and Kenley Matheson. And we'll touch on those two. If there's any updates regarding Lily and Jack Sullivan, you know I'll be on with that as well. And yeah, so hopefully I will see you all then. Possibly tomorrow I'll be coming on with the other two cases. And we'll just go over those before we do the deep dive on them. Okay, so lots of love, everyone. Lots of positive vibes. Have a wonderful day. I hope it's beautiful out wherever you are. And take care. Bye.